to a seminar, and this seminar was to do with young women that were in the sex trade in Brazil. I sat there listening to the young lady talking about the experiences of young children that are caught into this situation. I think throughout the whole seminar I cried. I couldn't actually stop crying.
Have you ever had to have sex with somebody for money?
Yes.
You have? How many times?
Quantas vezes já? Bocado de vez. Lots of times. A lot of times.
A lot of times. And how much money? How much does it charge? How much it costs?
R$50. Five reais.
We see Brazil on TV and we think, oh my gosh, you know, it's exotic, full of beautiful women, full of beautiful this, beautiful that. But when you actually go there, based on what we saw, it's a different reality.
Passei 2 horas com 2 homens no quarto, tirando minha vigília. Depois que eu fugi, eu fui pra rua. Fiquei morando na rua, dormindo em praça, dormindo debaixo de ponte.
Rescue Me project is an initiative to rescue vulnerable women that have been caught up in prostitution. Maybe they've been involved in domestic violence. Maybe they're drug abusers. But it's an initiative really to reach out to broken women, very vulnerable women, women that don't have a voice sometimes, and they can't get any sort of support. And so that's what this is. When I began to work with a charity in London for vulnerable women, and it was at that point actually it began to stir in my heart that this is what I wanted to do.
Eu tinha 13 anos quando eu comecei.
I was a call girl. I was 13 when I started. At first, she didn't tell her unemployed mother.
Ela chorou, aí pediu.
When she discovered I was 15, she cried and asked me to stop. But I said, Mom, it's easy money.
ICWN, International Christian Women's Network, and that's a group of women that have come together, and it was birthed out of a mentoring group for married women. And they actually have been the inspiration to go and do something like this. And so they are basically the backbone in terms of Rescue Me. About a year ago, what we did is that I started feeling that this is what we needed to do as women, you know, really go out and to minister to these women that are vulnerable in this situation. So we got in contact with one particular charity that was in Brazil, and from there began to see the different things that they do on the ground. And so some of the work that we want to do is to actually go out there and actually take part in that work, working on the ground to see what it's like. Because it's easy to say that you want to go out and work with vulnerable women, but there's another issue, there's another thing when you're actually working on seeing them in real life. And so that's basically what we want to do. We want to support these women through counseling, through deliverance. We want to bring the gospel. We want to help them, give them an opportunity to make a different choice in life. And it's very easy to say that because our choices, we can make these choices that we're in right now. Some of these young women, they've been forced into those situations and they've had to make those decisions. So we want to just be a voice to them and a support. And wherever God says that we should go and what we should do, we're going to do.
Rio is full of lovely people, lovely, friendly people. However, underneath just like that beauty lies something else. So, for example, from the angle of where we went to, like we had opportunities to go to the prostitution zone, which is Villa Mimosa, and basically you just saw women that were desperate. You know, like we met a woman who, the reason why she was a prostitute was because her husband told her that she had to go out and work, and that was the only work that she could do. And also, you know, where I don't understand it, but where there's poverty, you also have loads of people that are drug addicts or alcohol addicts and stuff like that. So basically seeing Rio through my eyes would just be maybe trying to raise awareness of, you know, the fact that there is a lot of poverty. As much as they've just had the World Cup and they're going to have the Olympics in 2 years' time, there is a lot of poverty that might not necessarily be shown on TV. Yeah, they might show the favelas as a glorified version of this is the poor section of Brazil, but even underneath that, there are people that are suffering.
I think in the beginning you think that, you know, this is good, I'm going to go and help the prostitutes type of thing, or, you know, women that sell their body and try and make a difference. But the closer we actually walked into that environment, the more you realise that you were going into something actually very serious, and you sort of, it put a new light on it. You know, the devastation of what they do, the evil spirit and the atmosphere it sort of became really real. Became a lot more scarier the closer you got, actually.
Muita violência dos homens.
She's been through a lot of violence from men.
De todos e todos.
From everyone.
Capaz de morrer na mata, ser estuprada.
She died in the woods.
De tudo.
She was raped, everything.
On a few occasions, we actually, you know, with a translator, we spoke to some women who told us their stories. And some of the stories were just, there was a lady we met, she was an older lady, she was probably in her 50s. And she was in her 50s. And our translator asked and said, how did you end up here? And her story was, she owned a bar, she had a restaurant and a bar. She's got a daughter, she's about 16 years old. Her daughter lit a candle and it set the bar and the place on fire. And that was it. That was the end of her livelihood. So she had to go out onto the street. And that's what she had she said she had no choice. That was what she had to do. Her livelihood was gone. She was very, very traumatized. She was very hurt. I think for her it was just a case of, I have no other choice. There's nothing more for me to do.
How young is the youngest child you've seen here who has been picked up for sex?
10, 12, 13, 14.
10, 12, 13, 14.
A idade que tiver não passa. É se engraçar e escolhe. Muitas vai por necessidade, vai porque tá usando isso, vai quando tá alombrada.
Go because they're high.
Met another lady that I remember, actually I can still see her face. She'd been doing it for years. She had about 5 children, all quite grown up. She couldn't read or write, and her husband sent her out to the streets to work. He didn't work, and he had sent her out, you know, and that she'd been doing it for so long. It was as though she was quite numb. She told her story very matter of fact. It was very much like, yeah, it's just, this is what I do. Again, she felt as though there was no real other option, because she said, well, she can't read, she can't write, she can't, well, what else is she going to do? And that was, you know, those were some of the challenging, you know, when people are telling you those stories and you're thinking, wow, you know?